This exhibition, it is a preview of what it will be, the Aga Khan Museum, which is going to be open to the public in Toronto.
I think probably the mission of the museum will be to make the art of the Muslim world better known.
There are just under 120 items in the exhibition. They span a range of materials, from manuscripts of the Quran to wood carvings to metalwork.
They cover a large number of periods of Muslim Islamic history.
And I hope that it will show also the interconnection there is between the arts of non-Muslim worlds and the Muslim world.
We have objects from North Africa to printed text on rice paper from China. And in terms of the historical spread, 10th century to the 19th century.
Now's a particularly opportune time to be showing this sort of an exhibition, to be creating this sort of a museum. I think a lot of prejudices and misconceptions, hopefully, will be laid to rest. And through mutual understanding, we will achieve mutual respect. And through mutual respect, we will achieve peace.
We have organized a series of shows of an anthology, a selection of the future Aga Khan Museum collections in various European cities. We started in Parma, we continued in London, in Paris and Lisbon.
And we'll move on to other European and non-European cities before being on permanent display in Toronto.
These traveling exhibitions, in fact, two things. First, an attempt to advertise what we are doing. Second, for ourselves, an experiment to test what are the possibilities of this collection, how the publics in the various cities where we present the exhibitions react to them, what are the experience we gain from various museum curators interpreting our collection, and how other museum designers in each one of the venues have designed the show. All that is invaluable for us.
In London, where the exhibition comprised of nearly 170 objects, was called Spirit and Life.
We had people from different parts of the UK, other parts of the world. We had people here from Australia, from Japan, from South America.
It was absolutely buzzing. It was packed both times I came. And I think it's because it's not one of those exhibitions that you just walk in to spend half an hour there and walk out of again. There's so much detail, and I think it really involved people in that detail.
Museums are inherently a pluralistic space because they bring together components and artifacts and objects and ideas, I think more importantly, from different parts of the world into one space.
There were things in there like the white marble column, which on the one side had flowers which were carved in the Roman era, but then had been reused later on with an Arabic script. And it just showed how the two cultures can really coexist.
In Parma, it was called the Splendore a Corte, Splendors of the Court.
Somebody said that museums are a mirror that allows us to, looking into our past, to understand or to scrutinize what could be our future. This exhibition, in talking about subjects of the past, will give an insight in the future. We'll talk about relationships between the Muslim world and the West, which are more than 1,000 years old.
The Quran verses were not only written on parchment and on proper books, you also had this extraordinary tradition within Islam of having epigraphy on different substrates, on different materials. And this example is quite striking. It's a chestnut leaf, a chestnut tree leaf, a natural one. A verse has been written on it.
This exhibition is a joint initiative between the Louvre Museum and the Aga Khan Trust for Culture. This is significant because it's the first time in France that a selection of objects from the future Aga Khan Museum are shown to the public.
Premièrement, les 1428 ans de l'Oumma englobe de multiples civilisations et donc présente un pluralisme étonnant. Ce pluralisme géographique, ethnique, linguistique, religieux s'est démontré particulièrement au plus grand moment de l'histoire de l'Oumma, d'où l'objectif de la collection Aga Khan d'illustrer ce pluralisme en mettant en valeur les objets venus de tous les horizons, de tous les temps, fabriqués dans tous les matériaux du monde musulman.
In Lisbon, the exhibition is called The Path of Princes. Whatever title is given to the exhibition, the overall aim is to engage the public with the arts of the Islamic world and to talk about culture as a means of engaging with the public, that Islam is about universality, is about tolerance, is about sharing, is about understanding.
I think it's really beautiful. The more you look, the better it is.
I have discovered a lot of things that are new for me. No?
I'd like to know the sort of minds that conceived such things.
Like one of the fascinating items in the collection is a very important manuscript on medicine. It was dated, the manuscript is dated 1052, written by a very famous scholar called Ibn Sina. And Ibn Sina's name became Latinized into Avicenna. So he's known in the West as Avicenna. The book that he wrote, which is in total 1 million words, was an encyclopedia on medicine. The manuscript that is in the exhibition is probably the earliest surviving copy of that text. It's known as the Qanun fi al-Tib, the medical canon. And it became so important that not only was it used throughout the Muslim world, but in the 13th century, it was translated into Latin. And by the time of the Renaissance in the 15th century, it was edited, translated, and commented upon by Western scholars. It became the foundation text for medicine throughout the West.
I think the role of this museum is to raise in the mind of the visitor more questions than answers. Questions about Islam, about the Muslim, and generate a type of anxiety to know that will compel these visitors to have other means of information, either written, audiovisual, and if the museum sets up this kind of a state of mind in their visitors, then it would have fulfilled its purpose.
En construisant le musée de Toronto, nous visons à mettre en scène un acteur nouveau en Amérique du Nord. Son but sera essentiellement éducatif, promouvoir activement la connaissance des arts et la culture de l'islam. Ce qui se passe sur ce continent, sur le plan culturel autant qu'en matière économique et politique, ne manque pas d'avoir des répercussions universelles. C'est pourquoi il nous a semblé important qu'une institution y existe qui puisse en promouvoir la compréhension et la tolérance. Le musée doit être aussi celui de la substantielle population musulmane vivant au Canada et aux États-Unis. Il sera une source de fierté et d'identité pour l'ensemble de ces personnes, démontrant le pluralisme inhérent à l'islam, non seulement dans les interprétations de la foi, mais aussi dans la variété culturelle et ethnique.